We heard Jerry Jones today, Albert, basically say that Garrett still has the opportunity to make a run and check boxes, not raise a bar, that the bar is not raised. He knows where the bar is. He just needs to check boxes. But that Jason Garrett, in his mind, is absolutely capable of doing the job, to the point where he said that Jason Garrett will be coaching in the NFL next year, and just left it at that.
And I think that to me, I think that Jerry's criticism of Jason is very interesting. The timing of it, like when it sort of got a little edgier, the timing of it's interesting because it coincided with reporting coming out, and I believe it was on your air. I think it was Ian, right, on Garrett potentially landing with the Giants, and I don't know that. I just put it this way. I don't think that rubbed Jerry the right way. That, you know, they're all in on this season and everything else, and that something like that would sort of emerge, I think may have rubbed Jerry the wrong way and contributed to, you know, what he said, in addition to everything that happened in the New England game, and his decision to get a little bit edgier with his criticism. And I think an important piece of this too, Rich, when we're talking about where the bar is and what Jason Garrett needs to do to keep his job in Dallas, he doesn't have a contract for next year, and that's pretty rare. Like, you do not often see teams send coaches into a lame duck year. Now, the Cowboys have done it before with Jason. It's not the first time, but what it basically means is you can walk away from the coach with no financial repercussions, right? But if you're planning on keeping him, then you've got to put together a whole new contract of 4 or 5 years for the guy, and that means committing, you know, in most cases, $30-40 million to the coach that you've had in your building for the last few years. And so that's where I think the bar is high for Jason now. He's going to have to clear a bar that's going to convince the Jones family to go back in on him at that level, and that's why I think it's going to take more than just making the playoffs, especially with the NFC East being as down as it is, for him to remain there in charge of the Cowboys. And if he's not in charge of the Cowboys, like Ian said a couple weeks ago, I would expect that the Giants would kick the tires on him if they make a change.
Albert Breer here on the Rich Eisen show. Let me just push back on that one. I just didn't think Giants fans, after what's happened, you know, to go from McAdoo to Shermer, to go to the guy that couldn't get it done for the Dallas Cowboys, much to the delight of the Giants fan base for the last 10 years, for them to turn around and say this is the guy, would be a very difficult sell in the New York City area, despite Garrett's excellence as a human being, as well as the X's and O's and being a former Giant Princeton guy in Jersey connections. That would be a tough sell to me, Albert. It really would.
I'll give you 2 pieces of information there. Okay, number one, this is sort of part and parcel to who John Mara's been as the owner, who the Mara family's been as owners, that they value familiarity. It's one of the reasons why Dave Gettleman wound up, you know, getting the job as GM. It's why they hired Jerry Reese. It's why they brought Tom Coughlin back, you know, after they fired, I believe it was Fossil, right, all those years ago. So they value familiarity. They've got familiarity with Jason Garrett. Here's the other piece. I know of a couple of coaches who've left New York and gone to Dallas over the last few years, where when they had their exit interview with the Maras, basically the message on the way out the door was, we hate to lose you, but if there's one person that you're going to go work for, we don't mind that person is Jason Garrett. So the Maras think very, very highly of Jason Garrett. And they've been not public about it, but I mean, like to be willing to say that sort of thing to outgoing coaches. I mean, you risk it getting out there, right? And so, you know, I do think that there's an affection for the Garrett family there from the Maras, and for Jason Garrett in particular. They have familiarity with him, and that's why it works. That said, I don't think Jason Garrett would be at the top of their list. I think right now, if they were going to make a change, I think Matt Rule from Baylor would probably be the guy at the top of the list.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Because that's who I know who was on the Jets list, and they decided to go with Gase because they thought Rule was too green, and along with the rest of his coaching staff.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.